Hey, I'm sitting here kind of feeling a little bit like I need to talk to someone about this. So I'm just going to put it out there. Um, I've been reading the story of church history, like Christian history, and there's a common theme that keeps coming up over and over and over again that has really just made me ponder this last year and a half, 2 years that I have been really trying to retreat from commercialism and the business life and greed and income and financial security. Like, the common theme is that all of these church fathers and the church ladies, like, I mean, there's a lot of women that were that I'm reading about. They all were professing monasticism, like being away from the world, um, contemplative prayer, not being in the commercial world, not, they call it pomp, like not being in all of the pomp of the society, and not even into politics. So politics was dragged into them over the years, and that's where church and state got mixed. Was right at the very beginning in the Roman Empire, and especially when it first happened that Constantine changed to say he's a Christian, right? So that really threw people for a loop because they were so against the emperor. And then here's this emperor that turns into a Christian. He never did get baptized until his deathbed, and he still practiced paganism quite often, and he did kill his son. There's a lot of things about Constantine that just make me question a lot of what I've been taught. But that being said, what my gut is so sick about right now is that I was on a journey, and I was actually telling myself, you know what, maybe you're crazy. You should just go back to the rat race, get back into town, get back into the office. Maybe you're going to see more people, hear more people, have more influence, all these things. What I'm realizing is that that is actually of the devil, because the history of the church showed that whenever they got involved, like I was reading about Basil, the Bishop Basil, who then was venerated into a saint. He was highly educated, and he was given a prestigious career, and he left it all. And so did his sister, and so did his brother, and so did some of the friends that he had made when he was at all of these prestigious, I guess you'd call them schools, universities in Athens. They left and they went to the monastic life and went back to, the roots of who and what God is and what he gave us. And he gave us all that we need in our animals, our plants, our trees, water. Like, he gave us all things to help us sustain life. And it's the love of money and the love of the security of money, that pushed us forward into this system of things. And now, can we just up and stop everything and, disconnect from the electrical grid and just live off the land? Like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I like plugging things in. Like, I like having internet. There's certain comforts that come with this that I can't even imagine. But after reading about the persecution and people having to stay like 7 years in the woods with their family to avoid persecution, to avoid being killed, there's so much persecution. People, like, I just can't even imagine a world. I mean, people jumped and sold out their neighbors over not wearing a mask, people. They were worried about losing $1 on commission in real estate for speaking up to what they believe in. We can't even imagine how weak our society is right now compared to the early church history. They literally went through hell. They went through hell on earth. Their families were torn. Like, do you understand? Like, I'm just sick about it. How much they had to go through in order for us to be able to have freedom in our faith. And we're throwing it out the door. We're throwing out our faith. We're telling the world, you know what? We want to be part of your system so much that we're not even going to say anything. We're just going to pay it off. We're going to pay you off, or we're going to avoid it. We're going to like not talk about it. We're not going to talk about our faith. We're insulting our early church fathers. We're insulting the early church by doing this. And I've been called, honestly, for my whole life, but basically in the last couple of years, since 2020, to get away and see straight. Get away and be with the Lord. Get away and call out the apostasy. Call out the disgustingness of this world. To be honest, okay, you guys, I'm just going to call it the chicken shit Christians. I don't know why, but now I have more reason, right? Reading about church history in this university course has blown me away to think about how weak we are as a Christian nation. I actually feel sad. I feel like we're just a bunch of chicken shits who can't stand up for what we know is truth, that Jesus is truth, that filling our bank accounts and making sure that we have our future retirement plan and our RSPs and our, we're so worried about building up our own security here on earth that we have sold out God. It is so disgusting. And I'll just show you this book. Listen, I'm halfway through this one book, but I have another one that I already read. This book, The Story of Christianity, Volume 1. You guys, it's like literally the early church to the dawn of Reformation. I have only got halfway through this. I have notes everywhere in here. I am blown away. And it just justifies the fact that these people who retreated to monastic life were venerated. They were exalted. They're being written about. People say, oh, you go away and, you're not in society. You're going to be forgotten. No one's going to remember you. You're not going to have any, you're not going to say any, there's nothing that's going to happen. You're never going to turn anybody to Christ. Listen, these people are all written about in this book. There's 500 pages in this book, and this is just the beginning. This is one book. They're remembered. They're venerated. They're given respect. I'm reading about it in the year 2025, and this is from the year 54 on, or whatever. It's 33. It's literally the beginning of time. Actually, it's before that, because this was even the very, very beginning was even before Jesus died, right? So this book, talks about the whole history. And I just feel so disgusted with Christian society. We can't be seen different. We're not different at all. We look the same. We act the same. Before, actually, to be honest, they look the same. Some of the things were a little bit in the head covering, stuff like that. Some things looked a little different. But to be honest, it was their behavior. It was their behavior that got them persecuted. We're so scared of being persecuted, and I don't wish to be persecuted. Listen, I probably would run for the hills. I can't even imagine. But this is the thing. We're so scared of being persecuted, even to lose $1, or some commission or whatever, that we are willing to change our whole lives. We're willing to shut up. We're willing to sacrifice our own faith for money because we're fearful of that losing of money, the losing of what respect you think you have. You have zero respect. Do you understand? Christ has all the respect. Christ needs to be honored, and it should be in our behavior that he gets honored, not in like saying we're Christian and going sitting down in the pew on Sunday morning for an hour, complaining that the service is longer than an hour and you got things to do today. Like, these people sacrifice their lives. They watched their kids be slaughtered. There was families that were pushing through so we could have this freedom. And we're just selling ourselves out. Anyways, I just needed to say that. 10 minutes. If you made it this far, thank you.